I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I saw this coming. But welcome to the dysfunction of the Dallas Cowboys, where we wait to the last minute to do things because we as an organization think it's smart. And I hate it here. But I kept telling people this is how the Cowboys operate. Mike McCarthy, to me, lost his job after the Packers game. But Jerry kept him on the coaching staff because he didn't want to have to pay anyone on top of paying Mike McCarthy. Didn't want to pay two coaches at the same time. Just that simple. But again, when I told people, this is all I heard. Oh, you can blame Dak. This is what you get when you refuse to see the bigger picture because when you're pointing at other people, you start to lose sense of what's really going on. The Dallas Cowboys are the only team in NFL history to be a second seed and lose to a seventh seed. Yes, there's only been 10 years. So I think the actual record is 9-1. But still, the Cowboys set a historical mark in the worst way possible. Cowboys got embarrassed on national TV in Jerry's world, and y'all really thought Mike McCarthy was coming back, especially on the last year of his contract. That's just not how Cowboys do business. Jerry ran off Kellen Moore, let Dan Quinn walk, even though he should have been fired, and we saw the offense look like garbage for a whole season. But people really thought for some reason Mike McCarthy would come back. This is just me. You don't have to believe me, but I believe the decision was made last year. We are just finding it out now because, again, it's a deadline. And for me, the minute I saw the Packers game, I had the same feeling when the Dan Quinn led Falcons were up 28-3. I thought to myself, there is no way you lose like that and still have a job. But for the Cowboys, that doesn't matter because the easiest decision is to just drag things out and then boom, we mutually parted ways. And for me, the only thing I didn't like from Mike McCarthy, other than the play calling, is he probably knew this was going to be the eventual outcome. And still, he did his job so he wouldn't burn bridges with Jerry. And so he could get another job somewhere else. Because there's no way Mike was okay with bringing in Zeke or trading a fourth round pick for Mingo, especially in a year where those moves did nothing to move the needle. And even you saw the whole Tyler Guyton, one plays in, one plays out, just a bunch of weird stuff that only made sense if you knew you weren't coming back. So the least you could do is maintain a good relationship with Jerry Jones. But going forward, the Cowboys more than likely will end up hiring Kellen Moore. I said that. I remember I posted it is either on a short or TikTok, and someone was like, "Oh, you're just doing that for clicks." Okay. Well, that person didn't know that I've been saying this since last year, way before the news broke. And I've been saying that Mike McCarthy was set up to fail. You can look at my older videos. I wrote a video saying Mike McCarthy got set up for fail. I recorded a video saying that Mike McCarthy was set up to fail. And I thought the end goal to me was to bring in Kellen Moore. Let the Eagles go to a conference championship game with Kellen Moore, and I promise you, they don't even got to play that game. Just them going there, he'll be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys right then and there. I promise you. But we will see. We will see what the Cowboys do. And I still think Kellen Moore here has a job. Whether they make it there or not, they could lose the division round. I still think this job is for Kellen Moore. And the reason he wants someone like Jerry wants someone like that to come is because he can control and have control over the coaches. And whether you liked McCarthy or not, he gave up everything to appease Jerry. And finally, the ask was too much. So they mutually parted ways. I think this was a decision that was made last year, but again, I'm not reporting anything. That's just what I personally believe. It's it's just sad because there was no way that Mike was coming back. So all of the year that we saw, all this craziness this year, I believe was just all show. And what's annoying is who got hurt in the process. The fans and the players. And that's what I don't like. Because you feel bad for guys like a Tyron Smith, a Zach Martin, who's more than likely going to retire. And if he doesn't, he's obviously not the same player anymore. A Des Bryant, a Sean Lee, a Jason Witten. Guys that did so much for the Cowboys. They missed out on winning a Super Bowl because it was more important for the Dallas Cowboys to play games. It's the winning has never been the main priority with the Dallas Cowboys. That's why they get certain coaches that won't push back. Okay, Jerry, you got it. Whatever you say. Guys that don't motivate people, because at the end of the day, you can be great at your job, but the head coach has to be a motivator. Has to be a motivator. You cannot have a motivator, someone that gets his guys ready, if you're too worried about what the owner thinks. Because it's not about football anymore. It's about, I got to do things in a way that makes him happy. And if I get too much attention, then that's me. But and even with guys like now, like Dak, CD, and Micah, they have to deal with it. All this craziness right now. Cowboys have always had the talent, but it's been wasted for just the dumbest reasons, the dumbest things. And the only slim glimmer of hope, if they were to hire Kellen Moore, is that him being Jerry's guy will maybe, and I'm saying a big emphasis on maybe, he can get Jerry to actually do something in free agency and build a competitive team. But if he's just Jason Garrett 3.0, because McCarthy was 2.0, I don't care what anyone says. McCarthy ended up being Jason Garrett 2.0. If Kellen Moore is Jason Garrett 3.0, oh, it's going to be a long season. I can promise you that. And I'm just tired of just when you're watching the Cowboys play games, they do all this stupid stuff for attention. And they aren't the only ones to blame because the media helps them. They help Jerry get away with this media attention, dragging things out. You know why he's doing it, but nobody says it. Nobody calls him out on it till it's too late, obviously. Then it's like, oh, 2 weeks before. Oh, Jerry, you're dragging it out. He's dragging it out for 2 years. What are we talking about? Sorry. But we got to admit some things. Got to admit some things. Mike McCarthy's play calling was a problem. But unfortunately, nobody called him out on that. Even in the sports media, didn't see a lot of people calling out Mike McCarthy for his horrible play calling. Couldn't get the run game going. Just certain things I just didn't like that he was doing. Even when Dak was in the game, it's just like, what are you doing? You're setting your quarterback up to fail because this is how you want to do things. And it's obviously not working. But we wait till the second half of the season. The season's basically done. Oh, yeah, let's run the ball and try to switch things up. That's not how you play football. But again, I understand the mindset to an extent because you probably thought you weren't coming back. So it's just like, I'm going to just ride the wave. I don't want coaches like that in Dallas. If that's the coaches you're going to bring, I don't care. I save it for somebody else that cares about that stuff because I don't. And I'm not going to lie. We saw that the Cowboys roster was depleted. That was Jerry Jones' thing. But media didn't call him out on that. Y'all waited till it's too late. It's like, oh, you didn't do nothing free agency. What do you think's going to happen? 1, 2 players go down. That's a whole side of the football. And we saw that the sabotage was in full effect. But nobody wanted to call it out. It's easy to say now. But again, that's what it's like to be a Cowboys fan. And that's why I stopped listening to mainstream media and even some of your favorite Cowboys content creators will push that Jerry Jones narrative for views. But me, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to just be honest and why I feel that way about the Dallas Cowboys. It's a team I love. Love to watch them. But we also got to remember that Jerry's up there in age. And I'm about positive he wants to see a Super Bowl, another Super Bowl. But again, his clash with his ego is what is hurting the team. Free agency and the draft will tell me once again what I need to know about this season. Are you really trying to win this season? Those two, you're going to find out quick, I promise you. And if the Cowboys don't do anything in free agency, buckle up for another season just like this. And you better pray if they hire Kellen Moore and don't do anything in free agency that his play calling is top tier. Because if not, we'll be back at square one and probably have a top 10 draft pick. But either way, the decision has been made. Mike McCarthy is out. I hope the best for him wherever he ends up. And man, Cowboys Nation, more drama, more news to come. So subscribe to the channel so I can keep giving you guys that real sports talk on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm your boy Mecca Mike. And for all the socials, that is MECCHA Mike. And I'm out.